What's up, guys? Welcome back to FarmStrong. My name's Jack and thanks for joining me on the channel again. As you can see, bag of Nitram and the fork truck behind me there. Running fertilizer again. We did start doing a little bit at the end of last week, but wind picked up, so we abandoned that. And looking in the forecast, a nice dry week this week, so we're cracking on. And we should finish most of it today. Be over the home farm at the moment, and then going over to our contract farm shortly. And it's Nitram going on the wheat, so third application. And I don't know what sort of weather everyone else is seeing in their forecast at the moment, but temperatures getting warmer and it's staying dry. We really would like a little bit of rain, obviously, to get all this fertilizer washed into the ground. But yeah, looking dry certainly for 10 days or so at the moment, which is probably a bit frustrating. We did cop a little bit of rain last week, probably near enough 2 mil, I think, middle of the week, and then a small shower just after. But speaking to other people in Essex, it seemed like the rain was a bit sporadic. Some people getting sort of 7, 9 or half an inch, and others not really getting anything at all. So if people were lucky, they got a bit of a shower. But yeah, we'll be worrying about this dry spring from now on. Hopefully some rain edges in, and we can keep the yield potential that we've got in the crops at the moment. And I don't know if you just saw that behind me, but there's Cat 360 in the field here. We're having some sewage sludge delivered. So there's a little, I think they've just tipped one load so far, just out there, just beyond the headland tram line. So they've come and set up. So they've got their matting down, cones, got the 360 here, and then a fair few lorries will be coming in and starting to tip. The sewage sludge is basically all the separated solids of the water treatment process of all the sewage, all human waste. Yeah, it doesn't smell great, but it's great nutrients for the soil and for the crops, and it saves us putting more artificial fertiliser, the granular fertiliser like we're putting on today. So they come and tip it this time of year. That'll get heaped up in the fields, but that won't be nutrients for this year's crop that's already in the ground. The contractors will come in and spread that after we've harvested the crop, and will go on the ground in the autumn. And then we can come in and cultivate that into the soil. So yeah, it's great nutrients. We'll go around our fields in a rotation, so it won't be every field that gets it every year. But yeah, I think the agricultural industry or agricultural sector pretty much use the majority of those solids that are a byproduct from the water treatment process. So yeah, the agricultural sector is a great way for the water companies to get rid of these solids, and obviously they supply a very good form of nutrients for all our crops. Just heading down the headland tram line, and a meat pool in the field with these 2 bags. Jumped out the fork truck cab while I was in the field just to show the fertiliser, how it sits on top of the ground. So all these little white granules that you can see are all spread out over the top of the surface of the field. And when I say we want some rain, some moisture, help wash those, break down that fertiliser and wash that into the ground so that the wheat here can pick it up and use the nutrients to grow. Jump back in and take the empties back to the yard and grab another 2 bags. Notice we've got the row crops on the 724. Paul fitted those last week. Obviously the cereal's getting high enough now that we don't want to be squashing them with the normal tyres. Just driving past on the way home, and the 360's out in the field now, scooping it up what's been dropped off into a pile. Just back in the yard at home, and it is weird weather today. It's gone really black, feels like it's going to rain. Had a frost this morning, bright sunshine most of the day, and yeah, now rain's in the air. What on earth's going on? Tuesday morning, just getting the try and drill out, measure something up. So for this guttler press mod we're trying to do, we're just trying to measure up the span we need for the extra pieces, because we might have to get them purchased new and made up by the company that manufactures them. It's a second-hand market, it seems a bit thin. We were maybe hoping we were going to buy something second-hand and butcher it up, but it is Wednesday morning, just in our straw shed where we've got all our cultivation gear stored over winter. Had a bit of a shuffle around with the fork truck, just moving the flat roll and the topper out the way. And basically, Paul's going to come down with the 828. We're going to pick the plough up and move that also, because we want to get the Rexius press out. And the reason we want to get the press out is that we want to investigate the pins that link the outer wings to the centre section. So there's pins in here, and there's quite a bit of wear and play in those at the moment. So we're going to get this out, get it unfolded, and see if we can investigate how much wear we think is there, maybe measure it, and how we might get it all apart. But we'll get it out, get it unfolded, get the plough moved first, move that with the fen, and then we'll hook the class up onto the press, get it out in the yard and have a look. Got it out and unfolded. We're just going to have a look, see if we can knock the end of the nut, this pin, and see if there's much play in it. We have had success getting the pin out, managed to knock that out with a hammer and a drift, and then just use the fork truck here to come in and support the frame, so and move it out of the way so we can have a look at the sleeve. And there's a sleeve that goes right through the frame from here to here. It's all one piece, not smaller ones at each end. So we're just coming up with a plan as to how we're going to try and get that out. Paul's just knocking up a drift with a handle for one of us to hold, and then we'll hit it with a big hammer and see if that budges it at all. If not, we'll be thinking about plan B. But I think, to be honest, we've done well to get the pin out in the first place. I think Dad's kept it well greased over time so that it wasn't seized in there. So no success just using a drift. So Paul's actually just making up we've got a pin that's going to fit inside the sleeve there. Paul's going to weld a bead round the pin, and then hopefully that weld will catch on that sleeve and we'll have a better chance of knocking it through. But we shall see. Quick weather update. Very windy, but clear blue sky. Not a cloud in sight, but the trees are going. Johnson. think we're admitting defeat. We're knocking the sleeve out. Paul made up this little piece, the welded tab, that we could get on the edge of the sleeve, but even whacking that bloody hard with a big hammer is not doing anything. So yeah, not sure what we're going to do. Just having a look at the actual wear on this pin in the sleeve, and just that little bit of movement just seems to multiply. It doesn't seem much here, but it's just enough. So current plan, we've got a couple of new pins coming. We'll try those pins in the current sleeves and see how much play there is. It may be that actually the wear's on the old pins and not the sleeves, and we might get away with that. So we'll give it a go before the hard work of trying to remove the sleeves. It is Thursday morning and we are just putting the carrier back together. Decided the old pins weren't too worn when compared against the new ones. So just had one of those would you believe it moments, and you can probably see that my eye is in a bit of a state, but I just managed to blow grease into it at quite a high speed or force or whatever you want to say. It's just trying to put some in a joint on the carrier, and the neck on the grease gun, as I was trying to force the grease in, blew apart in the thread, can you see there? Consequently exiting some grease from it at quite a high speed into my eye. Yeah, getting grease out your eye isn't very fun. So maybe a lesson to learn there. Wear safety goggles even when you're greasing up. So long story short, on the carrier, we put the old pin back in, so we thought compared to a new pin, it wasn't actually all worn too badly. So rather than spending £1,000 swapping the pins and sleeves over, we've gone with what we had, and we'll keep running it like that. I've given this a grease up and yeah, get it folded up and put away now. My number one enemies at the moment. Back on some construction this afternoon. Means the 360 and the dump trailer are out. Just scraping some chippings off some hardcore. Finishing up the week on the sprayer, back out in some weeds with growth reg, manganese, and then spraying for rust and septoria too. Going along pretty steady, to be honest. Jumping out the cab a little bit, unblocking some of these nozzles, which seems to be a constant annoyance at the moment. But yeah, just getting through about we're going to do about 60 hectares in total this afternoon. Dad was on the sprayer this morning, so just going to run until about 5 o'clock or so as I'm off to the pub. Just back at the farm Saturday morning, got a little passenger with me as well. Just got the sprayer out the shed. Didn't finish the video up last night, as ended up in a bit of a rush finishing up the wheat, but as I was folding up the boom to leave the field and come home, we got a little split in one of the main pipes here. It was just as I was folding in this end section, as I was folding up to leave the field, that I've got a split in this main pipe here. And you can probably just see in there's a little bolt that comes up through that bracket. And I think it's just been rubbing on that pipe where it sits over time. And the pipe's finally given up. And you can see we've just got a little drip here. Luckily, I'd sprayed the whole tank out as I finished up the field, so just a bit of clean water in the tank from flushing the boom. But got the sprayer out. I think Dad was planning to do some spraying later on today, but obviously this will need a fix beforehand. So I've come and got it out of the shed so I can at least mark up where the leak is. So either Dad can fix it or I can give him a hand if I've got time. Anyway guys, that's going to finish up this week's video. I've sent the little man to sleep, but as always, thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one.